So far, it had not been a very good morning. Katie couldn't find two socks that matched. Orbie was playing with a toothpaste tube and squirted it all over the bathroom mirror. And they both wanted the same cereal when there was no more left. Orbie finally decided to have toast, so Mom put some in the toaster oven and she asked Orbie to watch it while she put on her lipstick. Now, she wasn't gone that long, and Orbie did watch it. He watched it turn brown, then dark brown, then black. Then it started to smoke. Orbie honked as loud as he could, and Mom came running down the stairs, and just as she ran into the kitchen, the smoke alarm went off. This frightened Orbie, who made a terrible noise too and spun around in circles. Mom flipped up the switch in the toaster oven and opened the door. Smoke gushed out. Dad raced in, still doing up his tie, and Katie hopped in with one shoe halfway on. "What's going on here?" Dad asked. Mom told Dad Orbie watched the toast, but didn't call her when it was ready. She carried the burnt toast to the garbage pail and threw it out. Dad stopped the alarm. Orbie sniffled a little bit and hung his head. Katie understood how he felt. Dad opened some windows. Katie put her arm around Orbie and said, "Orbie, you have to say when the toast is brown. Black is too late." Dad apologized to Orbie. The burnt toast made him realize that he needed to get the toaster fixed. The burnt toast made Mom realize that Orbie might not know what to do if there was a fire. It was right then and there that Mom decided they would visit the fire department that afternoon. Katie was really excited, but Orbie was worried. He was worried that the firemen would be angry at him for letting the toast burn. Of course, that was silly. They weren't angry at all. Miguel, the fireman, said that fires can happen. The most important thing when you are young like Katie and Orbie is to know what to do. Orbie wondered what that was. Miguel told them they should never try to touch the fire. They should call for a grown-up. Orbie did the right thing. He felt a lot better. Then if no one comes or the fire won't go out, the child should run outside of the house and wait at a special meeting place until the parents can come. If there's no one home to help, the child should knock on the neighbor's door and ask them to call the fire department. Now, Miguel said with a big smile, "I'm going to show you what I do when you call me." Miguel took them into an enormous garage. There were 3 big trucks, and I mean big. Orbie wanted to look at them, and Miguel told him that they would come back and see them in a minute. Miguel took them upstairs. There were bedrooms with lots of beds in them. There was a large kitchen and a sort of TV room. When they were on duty, they slept here all night instead of going home. Katie wanted to know why they didn't sleep at home with their kids, and Miguel smiled and told Katie that when they were working, they had to sleep here so that they could get to the fire as fast as possible. Orbie found a strange sort of thing on the floor. There was a shiny pole and literally a hole in the floor around it. He made his "what's this" noise, and Katie explained to Miguel what Orbie wanted to know. Miguel explained that when the fire alarm rings, they have to be on their trucks and out on the road so fast that they don't have time for proper clothes and stairs. So they just jump right out of bed and slide down the pole. With that, Miguel grabbed the pole and disappeared through the hole. He called to Katie and Orbie from below, and they looked down and saw him there. Miguel asked if Katie and Orbie would like to try the fireman's pole. Orbie wasn't too sure, but Katie was dying to. So Miguel asked his friend Jeff to help her hold on to the pole. Down she went. Katie loved it and wanted to try it again. Orbie wanted to try too. He spun around the pole all the way down, making a whooping sound. I think he liked it too. When it was time to stop, Orbie was a bit mixed up. Miguel was a fireman. Did that mean he made fires? When Katie asked Orbie's question for him, Miguel laughed and laughed. "We do just the opposite, Orbie. We put them out." But Miguel understood Orbie's question because a lot of kids think the same thing, especially because they have to wear special clothes. They had special coats that kept the fire from hurting them and kept the water from making them too wet. They had special hats that helped with the fire and water too, and also helped if something fell on them. They were hard. Then they had great big boots. They were very big. Orbie wanted to try them on. Miguel gave him a hand. They were so big that Orbie literally disappeared inside of one of them. Katie giggled at Orbie, and Orbie made a funny noise as he jumped right out again. Miguel told them about the fire trucks next. Orbie couldn't believe his eyes. The wheels were bigger than he was. Katie wanted to sit right up on top and wear one of the firemen's hats. Jeff climbed up, and Miguel handed Katie way up to the seat of the truck. Then he gave Katie a hat. Orbie sat in Mom's arms so he could see better. Katie was so little compared to the truck that all they could see was the top of her hat. Orbie thought this was terrifically funny and was throwing his head back to laugh when he saw a terrible monster. He grabbed Mom tight and made a little squeaking noise. The fire monster laughed. Orbie almost crawled up on Mom's head. "It's me," Miguel said. "Don't be afraid. This is an oxygen mask to help us breathe in the fire." Orbie looked again, and sure enough, there was Miguel's eyes smiling out at him. I have to tell you, Orbie felt a whole lot better. Miguel explained that he liked to show the mask to children so that if he ever had to rescue a child in the night, they would know that he's only a man trying to help and not a terrible fire monster. Orbie wanted to try the mask on. Jeff and Katie climbed down from the big truck. Orbie thought Katie might think he was a fire monster, but Katie could tell that it was him. I think it was the big red polka dots. When it was time to head for home, Miguel gave Katie and Orbie both a little sticker. It had a heart on it. Miguel asked them to put it in their window so that the firemen would know which bedroom had little children in it. Once they were home, Mom, Dad, Katie, and Orbie made up a special plan in case of fire. Nobody ever wanted a fire to happen, and probably a fire never would. But just the same, they needed to have a plan. They decided they would leave the house and meet at E. Ping's house, right next door. When they went to bed that night, they felt very happy. Not only were Miguel and his friends going to keep them safe, but they also knew what to do if the fire alarm ever went off. And do you know what? You should know, too.
Did you know? No. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? On a rainy day, dressing for the weather is very important. Rubber boots, a raincoat, a hat, and an umbrella will keep the rain off your head. But sometimes it's kind of hard to keep completely dry.